Hello and welcome to Weird Things and Wine, the show where we sip wine and talk about all things weird. My name is Tash.
And my name is Mia.
And today we will be talking about the moon landing and other mysteries about the moon. Shall we jump right in?
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Cheers!
Okay, happy podcast anniversary as of August 31st. So we're a little late, but a whole year.
Which is compiled of 15 episodes.
And so many desserts.
And so many drinks.
1969 was a historic year for many reasons, one of the big ones being that was the year the first person ever walked on the moon. This groundbreaking moment was broadcasted all over the world, and millions watched it live from their TV. But almost immediately after, conspiracies started popping up. Did NASA fake the entire thing? Did aliens greet the astronauts? Is the moon actually made of cheese? Let's talk about it.
Is there a man in the moon?
Is there a man in the moon?
What do you think?
Probably.
I think so too.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you could go to the moon and advance human civilization and stuff like that, would you?
I mean, yeah.
What if you couldn't come back?
Is that so bad? No, I'm kidding. No. I probably would still go.
Really?
I really am interested in, science and how the world decides to do things. So if I could do something where that was actually my full, occupation, my life revolved around discovering things about the universe, yeah.
You could do that. That's called being, a astronomer or something. Physicist? Astronaut.
But see, you have to be smart to do those things.
You were so smart.
I'm not smart. I'm not smart enough, but I have, I want to learn ththings.
Our 2020 episode when we tried to figure out the secrets of the universe. I think that exemplifies what you're saying right now.
Okay, same question to you.
I would go to Mars and not come back if that was an option, or somewhere
far away.
Like a planet that might actually have aliens on it. Not that the moon doesn't have aliens on it, which we will talk about. We'll get into that.
Oh,
folks.
yeah. Oh, yeah, it's coming.
But first, should we do a Britney update?
Oh my goodness, we need to do a Britney update.
So, Jamie Spears is stepping down as conservator. So, Jamie's lawyer said that there was no legal reason for this, just that he thought it was in Britney's best interest now. So, that's a pretty great win, hey?
That is an excellent win. We should preface this just by saying Jamie is James Spears, who is Britney's father, which is why this is such a big deal.
Yes. So that's exciting. She's still, under the conservatorship and stuff, but he's not in charge of it anymore, which is really, I think, what she wanted.
Yeah.
So she's not free yet, because he was just, a part of a system, but she's getting there. We're, a step closer, which I think is great.
Baby steps.
We love you, Brittany.
Stay strong.
Shall we talk about the moon?
I'm so ready to talk about the moon.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
So, first, maybe we should talk about what is the moon?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Mia has the answers.
The moon is made of, according to universetoday.com.
Look at you citing your sources.
The crust of the moon is composed mostly of oxygen, silicon, magnesium, iron, calcium, and aluminum. There are other elements, obviously. It's not just made up of those few. And, I can't back this up with hard science, but I'm assuming... Because you know what? Every fact is just someone's theory about something that is widely believed, okay?
Yes.
Facts aren't real. So speculation is allowed.
I love that. Okay.
This is the real conspiracy mindset right here. Don't break up with me. No. I was gonna say everything has a core. Everything has a core. Plants have a core. Animals have a core. Humans have a core. The planets also have cores.
That is so
I'm
deep.
assuming it's the same thing as the Earth.
Yes, the moon does have a core. I don't know what it's made out of. Well, we assume that it has a core, which we will get into later.
No one's really dug into the center of the moon. I don't think there's even been a movie about digging to the center of the moon, although I can't back that up by facts because I didn't search it up.
We also have not dug to the center of the Earth. I think we've gotten 7 miles down.
But we have movies.
We do have movies. Journey to the Center of the Earth.
1 and 2.
Better than the book.
Is it?
Yeah. I don't want to shade a classic, but it was a lot of journey and not so much center of the earth. So, watch the movie, skip the book.
And I mean Josh Hutcherson. Hutchison?
Yeah, and The Rock in this new one.
And The Rock. How could we forget about The Rock?
Brendan Fraser in the first
the other one.
Icons.
Yeah. According to NASA, the center of the moon is very dense. Duh. It's composed of mostly iron and some nickel. And it's also burning hot.
Yes.
Just by the way.
Theoretically.
Well, that's true. We can't prove that, I don't think, right at this point.
The moon is also covered in, like, inactive volcanoes and hardened lava rivers and, like, impact craters. I think the composition is, like, really similar to Earth. So, the main theory that they have for how the moon was formed is that a small planet collided with Earth, and then they kind of smashed together, and then, like, the debris from that kind of formed the moon. And that's why a lot of the moon rocks are very similar to Earth rocks.
Oh, that's interesting.
Earth before this happened was called Proto-Earth, and then the planet that is thought to have collided with Earth is called Heia, or Hia, I'm not sure how to say that. Haya, maybe?
Hiya, Earth.
Hiya! Oh, I love that. That's cute. Another theory is that it could have been created when an astronaut kind of got caught in the Earth's orbit.
Wait, when an astronaut?
No, asteroid. Asteroid. Good call. I would have got that. And then, like, a bunch of debris spun off from the Earth because the Earth was spinning so quickly that, like, the debris kind of latched onto this asteroid and then formed the moon. This was, like...
a very long time ago.
So long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like...
this probably would have been before everything.
Like, millions of years?
Yeah. Billions of years?
I don't know. A lot of years, though.
How old is the Earth?
How old is the moon? I didn't write this down. I don't know how old the moon is.
4.53 billion years ago, the moon apparently formed.
Okay. So there's just a little bit of debate on how that actually happened.
Yeah.
Another theory, which we will get into later, is that it's an alien spaceship. Moving on.
Dang! Okay, heck yeah.
It's also about the quarter of the size of the Earth, which, fun fact, is, like, weirdly big for a moon to be caught in a planet's orbit.
Considering other moons from other planets.
Yeah. So it takes around 3 days to get there.
That's traveling at approximately 17,000 miles per hour.
That's quick.
Yeah.
So we didn't know that other planets actually even had moons until Galileo discovered them in the 1600s.
It's interesting because for some reason, science in general seems to be incredibly interested in exploring the things that we cannot easily get to or touch at all, such as the moon or outer space. As opposed to, like, you know, our next door. Like, they're still finding new species of animals and, like, frogs and insects and plants and everything, you know?
Yeah, let's explore the oceans.
I would love to explore the oceans. Mm-hmm. But it's interesting that there is this, need. There's this, like, hunger that exists in scientists to fly to this place that no one else can get to without a lot of money and research.
Jeff Bezos. Did he go to the moon or did he just go
He
to space?
did. Oh.
I hope he didn't go to the moon. He hasn't
I think
been to the moon.
he probably just went to space because he was not gone long enough to go to the moon and come back. He was only gone for like 3 days.
Okay. That was a really philosophical thing that you said. About, like, the hunger.
Oh!
To explore things that we can't touch. Oh my gosh. Write a book. I love that.
It'll just be really short fragments of my whole thought process.
Podcast thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sugar thoughts.
Sugar and wine.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another fun fact. It's a complete coincidence that the sun and the moon are the same size in our sky. Like, we see them as the same size. It's like a complete coincidence that doesn't happen on any other planets. And the reason that this happens, I don't know if this makes sense. But I did see it on the internet, so I'm going to assume it's fact.
Okay.
The sun is around 400 times the size of the moon, but also 400 times farther away, so it works out, the math.
Right.
But this won't last forever, because apparently the moon actually moves 4 centimeters away from us each year. And it also is shrinking a little bit.
How did they know that it's moving 4 centimeters away from us each year? There's no way to, like, measure that, apart from sending something up there to, like, radar it back to us.
It's because science is fake and they're lying to us.
I mean, that's true, though. See, that's another thing, you know? You have to put all of your faith in what someone else says, because you can't find that information out for your own self. I can't take myself to the moon to see what's up there.
No.
I can't test that a rock is really made of iron and, you know, titanium.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Is it not, though?
We just have to believe these people that we've never even met. that are, like, smarter than us, but are they? What if they're faking it?
This is also, interestingly, how society teaches us. You know, as a child in school, you're taught, yeah, look at these people, these scientists, even though I'm not saying anything negative about them, because
Get vaccinated.
they do really great things, and, you know, they're very necessary for our world.
Yeah, even to, like, a smaller degree, we're told not to, like, question our teachers or our parents, and that they just know implicitly what is correct, even though, as an adult now, I know that, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't think anybody else knows what they're doing either.
Also fun when, if you want to find out more information, so you ask, like, why? Oh, but why? When did that happen? They will get mad at you.
Don't ask questions.
Quite quickly, because they don't know the answer. I don't know the answer about most things. Don't ask me.
The moon also has moonquakes, which is like earthquakes, but these moonquakes are caused by the very small shrinking that the moon is doing, and also by asteroids hitting it and the gravitational pull of the Earth on the moon. So during these moonquakes, weirdly enough, sometimes the moon actually rings like a bell, like it's something metal.
Dang, that's really cool. What the heck?
So more on that later.
We're just giving you a little taste here.
Also, there's ice on the moon, which means that there's water on the moon. Which I remember growing up, that was like a big thing. Like, is there water on the moon? There is. Fun fact.
Because there's ice on the moon.
Yeah.
Dang,
Isn't
what
that crazy?
the heck?
There's also, like, signs of water erosion on the surface. So some people believe that there could have been an abundance of water at some point, which, like, further encourages ideas of, like, alien life and, like, flora and fauna life, you know? Isn't that cool?
That is really cool. See, that's just the same idea as, like you said, you know? You just have to slightly change how you're looking for things in order to find them.
Yeah. Also, I wanted to mention, the whole idea of the moon being made of cheese is something that originates in the 1500s, and it was kind of just, like, an expression, like, oh yeah, the moon's made of cheese, you know? Kind of like a flippant, yeah. So, that originated in the 1500s, and the folklore tale that a lot of cultures have, but, like, varied stories of, basically it goes that, like, a fox is gonna get eaten by a wolf, and he doesn't want to be eaten, right? So he says, oh, there's actually a wheel of cheese in that pond over there. You just have to drink all the water, and then you get the cheese.
Oh, smart.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the wolf goes and drinks all the water to get to the cheese, which is just a reflection of the moon, and he just basically bursts because he has too much water. So
super likely.
that is the folklore. So far there has only been 12 people to walk on the moon, and no one has even been there since 1971.
Even though we have the space station, where there's people in, like, all the time.
Yeah. So it's really weird. Just think of, like, the advanced technology that we have that could get us to the moon quicker and do, like, these crazy tests that we couldn't do before in, like, it's been 50 years.
What did we do? It's literally been 50 years exactly.
Yeah.
Think of how many different things we could do. You know? Oh, gosh.
It would be crazy. So I wonder if there's a reason we haven't been back.
What if those 12 people, you know, found something and they're like...
What if they did? Yeah. We're apparently going back in 2024, or like the US is.
Oh.
And there's going to be finally a woman on the mission, so there's going to be finally a woman walking on the moon. So.
Yay!
Yay!
Thank you.
Thank you, finally.
Society.
It only took you 50 years to get there. That's, like, really weird, because we went in 1969, and then they stopped going in 1971. Like, it was just 2 years, and then they stopped.
That's, like, the whole idea is... Because wasn't there a race to the moon?
Yes.
Amongst the countries? So, probably as soon as they got there, they're like, yeah, it's not that cool. But we beat Russia. That's literally the only thing that matters.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about the actual moon landing, I guess.
Okay.
So, the first moon landing was Apollo 11 on July 21st, 1969. And it was watched by estimated 650 million people all over the world. The idea of going to the moon was put forth publicly first by John F. Kennedy in 1961. So, John F. Kennedy proposed first a joint mission with the Soviet Union, who refused. Some say this could be why he was assassinated, or maybe he was too willing to cooperate with the enemy. This was during the Cold War with the Soviet Union, so the US really wanted to win the space race, and so did the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union had already sent people into orbit on the Sputnik mission, which was the first satellite, But they hadn't been to the moon yet, so the US really wanted to get there first to kind of, like, establish dominance over this other country.
Look at my power.
Yeah. So President Eisenhower then created NASA, which stands for the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. So they were, like, created to help, like, advance space exploration in the US. So there were many Apollo missions leading up to the final moon landing, but the first was actually stopped by a fire where 3 astronauts passed away.
Oh my goodness, that's awful.
I'm not sure if that's correct. That might have been a Gemini mission, but I think that's correct.
Oh my goodness.
So I think one of the astronauts that was in this fire was supposed to be the first man on the moon, but it didn't quite work out that way because that happened.
Oh.
So the entire journey there and back to the moon took about 8 days in total, and they spent around 21 and a half hours on the actual moon. And by they, I mean Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. And Michael Collins.
Incredibly famous names.
Incredibly famous, yeah. So Neil Armstrong was the first man on the moon, followed by Buzz Aldrin. And then Michael Collins, who also designed the mission patch, like the emblem, stayed on to pilot the aircraft and kind of send it around the moon and then come back to pick up the other 2, basically. So there are reports that Buzz Aldrin wasn't super happy about the decision that he was not the first one on the moon. There's also reports that they chose Armstrong to be the first on the moon because he was calmer and quieter, but the official report is that it was just because he was a commander. Also, Neil Armstrong, Neil A, spelled backwards, is alien.
What?
Right?
Wow. I can't believe I never knew that. It so is.
Yeah.
Who figured that out? Wow.
I don't know. I saw it on the
Brilliant
internet and I
mind.
was like, wow. That's crazy. Also, the name Buzz Aldrin, like, that's an astronaut name if I've ever heard that. Either that or a race car driver.
Is that where Buzz Lightyear came from?
Oh, maybe. That makes sense. That's cute. I love that. So, the first steps were recorded by a camera mounted on the window to the lunar module, and the first words were, we've all heard it, incredibly famous.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Which is iconic. I wonder who came up with that.
Do you think they had a team of people sitting at desks at NASA like, okay, what's our first words gonna be?
I think they did, yeah. So while they were there, they planted a flag and collected, like, moon rocks and stuff, and then they basically came back, so...
Again, it really does seem like the main purpose was just to assert dominance in being the first to actually get onto the moon.
Yeah.
Not necessarily researching the moon.
Yeah, it kind of feels that way.
Yeah. The moon was not the purpose. Earth was the purpose.
Yes. That's a good way
The
to put it.
moon was just an asset.
So, in a 1970 study, which was like a year after the actual moon landing, 30% of Americans believed that the moon landing was faked.
Which is quite a lot.
It's
a large
a lot.
percentage.
Yeah, so like these like theories came out right after basically they got back from the moon. Everybody was
Pretty
like, no,
much.
that didn't happen.
People were like, no, we just discovered television. This can't be.
Around 5 to 10% believe that the moon landing was fake today. So, let's get into some of the evidence, quote unquote, for why the moon landing was fake.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to interrupt you now
Yeah.
with a joke.
Oh, I love that. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, so how does the man on the moon cut his hair?
How?
Eclipse it!
Eclipse it?
Yeah. They weren't good jokes, okay? I did not come up with any of these. That was our small intermission.
I love that. Thank you. That made me happy. So, the first bit of evidence that we have is that some claim that in the original moon landing thing,
The video.
the video, that's what it's called,
That is in black and white.
which, by the way, is not the original footage, because the original footage has been lost and it's never been found.
I'm sorry, what's that now?
Right? Okay, so the original copy of the moon landing tape,
That was in like the recorder,
Yeah.
the box recorder when
Yeah.
they were up there. Mm-hmm.
it's been lost and never found. So some people theorize that it could have been reused and like taped over, which I think that's maybe like a historic event like that you wouldn't tape over. So there's only like copies of the original that people had for their home videos and like, you know, just copies. It's not the original footage.
How could someone do that? Why? Who messed up?
Who made that
Because, like,
mistake?
whoa, that's not good. So black boxes for planes, right? I have to imagine that they would also have something similar, like for the first mission to the moon. And arguably, that's a little bit more important than, your, normal, plain black box recorder, even though that's also extremely important because it obviously, if you have it, contains some very important information. But, like, even those you don't misplace.
Mm-hmm. It's just not done.
I wonder when whistleblowers are going to come out.
Could you imagine being the intern that lost the original moon landing footage?
Just some kid from high school. Bring your kid to work there.
The astronauts that went to the moon were only paid about $20,000 to go to the moon. That was like their annual salary.
Oh, that's bad.
That's crazy.
Because what's the maths? Because back then, you could buy like a full candy bar for like 2 cents. Which nowadays, a candy bar is like at least minimum $4.
I don't think it was 2 cents in 1970.
My mom was born in 1960 and she remembers going to the store and getting a candy bar for 2 cents.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
There's this place here in town that you just gave the person like 2 or 3 cents and you could, with your little baby hand, stick your hand in this barrel. And as many candy bars and like suckers as you could take out, you got to take.
That's nice. I would like that.
So the inflation.
I'm trying to Google the inflation calculator. Okay, so it's not that bad. So $20,000 in 1970 is $140,723 today. So,
that's actually reasonable. I would expect it to be around there.
There was a speech written out for the president at the time, which I think was Eisenhower, in case there was a disaster during the moon landing and the men couldn't be returned to Earth for whatever reason. Like, they have it written out. Fate has ordained that the men who went to the moon to explore in peace will stay on the moon to rest in peace. Like, I'm reading it right now.
So how thick do you think their waivers must have been, too?
Right?
Like...
So I guess that they were worried that they wouldn't be able to come back to Earth, that they'd be stuck on the moon, which was apparently an acceptable risk to take for $140,000.
Wow.
Like,
that's, when you put it that way, that's like, not great. Also, so, when you fly in a plane, right, the higher elevation you get, the more radiation you're exposed to from, like, the sun and everything.
Yeah. So
they also would have exposed themselves to a lot of radiation, but radiation cures cancer.
Yeah. What? Radiation cures cancer?
Well, like, it doesn't cure cancer, but that's a way to,
yeah,
combat cancer.
Yeah, and, like,
is by
really
radiation.
Targeted doses. Not so much, like, just dousing your whole body in radiation.
Well, what if that's prevention?
But it also causes cancer. It's one of those things where it's like medicine can like cause or fix depression. You never know what you're going to get with radiation. You're either going to cure cancer or get it.
Oh my gosh. Do any of the 12 people that went to the moon have diseases?
I don't know if that's information that's available to us, but...
It should be. They're medical marvels. On Earth, quarantines helped to contain outbreaks. During the Apollo missions, NASA took precautions to make sure no alien germs hitched a ride back to Earth.
So there were aliens on the moon.
According to this, perhaps. To prevent the spread of any possible celestial diseases, the 3 astronauts spent 3 weeks under heavily monitored quarantine.
Really?
They were greeted upon their return to Earth with a thick sheet of glass. Which actually does make sense, though, right?
Yeah, if there's aliens on the moon.
The NAS, which
what?
is the NAS,
Okay.
which is the National Academy of Sciences. Which one came first? Was it NASA or NAS? They, in the 1960s, advised that the introduction into the Earth's biosphere of destructive alien organisms could be a disaster. We can conceive of no more tragically ironic consequence of our search for extraterrestrial life. So the NAS are the people that spread the fear.
Well, that was dark.
They did! They advised the astronauts to not go.
I mean, they probably had valid reasons, not just wanting to, like, fearmonger.
Well, Well, it obviously wasn't just, let me spread fear. There would have been like, we don't know what's up there. I don't know. How many space rocks do you have in your collection? I have none. I don't know if that's true. They might have a lot. Oh, I didn't know the Apollo 11 landed on July 24th in the Pacific Ocean near Hawaii.
Oh, really?
According to this report. They were then carried directly to the mobile quarantine facility. Once getting into the mobile quarantine facility, a doctor accompanied them in and an engineer, and then they grabbed the whole mobile facility and physically flew it to Houston.
How long were they quarantined for?
3 weeks. In like a mobile home. It's like a train car, to be honest. It's not very big. Doesn't seem big enough to be stuck in there with 5 people for 3 weeks.
5?
Yeah, the 3 astronauts, a doctor, and an engineer.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so the doctor and the engineer should have also been paid $140,000.
Yeah, they should have been.
Because they just exposed themselves to the extraterrestrial germs.
Yeah, from the aliens.
Yeah!
Man, that would suck. 3 days on the moon and then 3 weeks in quarantine in a tiny little box.
Is it worth it?
I don't know if it's worth it. Says you, who would go to the moon forever if given the chance.
Well, but I wouldn't bring it back. Oh my goodness, in 2018, the NASA released another report recommending that the quarantine procedures for the next frontier, which is Mars, be reevaluated. Because they're not happy enough with it.
They're not strict enough?
3 weeks is clearly not long enough.
Who knows how long it takes alien germs to incubate?
So what if we, when a new strain breaks out, so like a new strain of, a very upsetting virus breaks out, can we just bottle it up and ship it to the moon to die?
If we could contain it.
Well, we just have to get better procedures for containment.
I don't think
which
that's how
also
germs
would
work.
require... Well, like, do you think that they would die if they went to the moon? Although if they mutated, if they just came into existence on the Earth somehow, they'd probably come into existence on the Earth again.
Are viruses alive?
Yeah.
Then they'd probably die without, like, a host, right? Because if they're just, like, on a surface for a while and they don't have, like, a host, like a body, then they die, right?
You are right. You're right.
Am I?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I'm sure there's some sort of super virus that wouldn't die.
Probably. It's coming. It's coming with the misuse of medicine. I read that somewhere. Okay, that's not coming direct from me. That's coming from a source on the internet. This is my disclaimer, personally. I'm simply repeating the information that I found on the internet and mean no harm.
Reddit user 192 said it was fact, so I'm taking it as fact too. Okay, so evidence. Strings.
Strings?
This is a theory that some people believe that in the footage of the moon landing, you can see, like, strings holding the astronauts and helping them, like, bounce, because there's less gravity on the moon. So,
I mean,
that's an idea. So, most of my theories here I will try to debunk as I go, but I really have no explanation for that one.
Well, that could make sense if they accidentally lost the footage after they recorded it.
Yeah.
Or if they got there and realized that their cameras aren't working.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to discuss a fact with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so the moon, based on my prior knowledge, is completely in tune with like the ocean cycle. As in, the tide comes in and goes out, and on full moons, the full tide brings in jellyfish, and then the jellyfish go out.
Really?
Yeah. So, what do you think about the idea that the moon has more power to it than just being able to control, like, the ocean cycle?
I guess that would depend on, like, what it actually is. If it's, like, just rocks, like science says it is, like, maybe not. But evidence that people kind of go a bit crazy around the full moon, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, it could be.
Do you think that it's just... So if the moon is irradiated or magnetized, do you think that could effectively, like, pull particles from Earth a different way? Such as it could pull particles in your brain a different way?
Oh my goodness, I've never thought about that. But yeah, that would be so cool. That makes sense. That's fact. What does irradiated mean?
Radioactive.
Oh! Ooh, scary. Okay.
It might be irradiated or just radiated. I don't know.
Oh, wow. I've never thought of that before.
I didn't read that anywhere. I just wanted to discuss that with you.
So, apparently, according to some, crosshairs appear behind objects in photos and are rotated like the pictures have been doctored, almost.
Does it really matter, though, if it was rotated?
It doesn't really matter if it's rotated, but if it's behind objects, that's a little weird. It's weird.
Poorly thought out.
It's weird. This could be because it only happens in, like, copies or edited versions and not the original stills from the moon landing. Still, it's weird that it's behind objects sometimes. I don't know why somebody was editing it that way.
Yeah, agreed.
So the next one is the sea rock.
The sea rock. There is a very obvious sea on it, is there not?
Yeah. Okay, so in this picture of the moon, you can see a rock that has a sea on it. So in props and stuff, people put, like, letters and numbers on props in order to, like, make sure that they go where they should go.
In the right spot.
Yeah, so people are like, oh, it's a prop from the moon landing. It's fake.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay, both of these, though, are a little bit, like, too obvious.
So this rock could be that way because it's a prop, or it could be that way because, again, this only appears in copies of the original, and it's kind of suspected to just be, like, a stray hair that's kind of curled.
A hair would actually be on the photo, not
Yeah.
actually on the IC.
Yeah, that's an idea. Either that or it's a prop and the moon landing was a video.
Was terribly faked.
Yes. There's also another one. In all the pictures and in the video of the moon landing, you can't see any stars.
Okay, question though. On our cameras, so like my iPod, for example, that I had, a while ago, could never pick up any photos of the stars.
Yeah. That's part of it, is that the cameras just couldn't pick it up because they weren't at the right exposure level. Another weird thing, though, is that the astronauts claim that they couldn't see stars. None of them remember seeing stars up there. Which you think it would be a spectacular light show, right? Because there's no light pollution up there.
Well, but the only reason that we can see the moon is because the moon reflects the sun. So what if the rays reflecting off of the moon are just too bright that they dampen out any of the other stars?
Yeah.
Although they should be able to see the sun.
There's a thing called lunar daytime, which I don't know if that's what you just described or if it's something else. But basically, the stars would have been too faint in the light of the sun, and they wouldn't have been able to see any, really. So I don't really know how that works, but apparently it's a thing, and so they wouldn't have been able to see stars.
I don't think I'm too freaked out by that idea that they saw no stars.
No.
I was at the beginning.
It's a little spooky taken at face value.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
In shots of it, you can see, like, a shadow going one way and then another shadow going another way, which doesn't really make sense because there's only supposed to be, like, one point of light, right?
What?
So people are like, okay, this is evidence for, like, there's stage lights all around, right? So the official NASA explanation is that because of the uneven ground and the way that multiple objects would be reflecting the sun, the angles of the light would be different and hitting objects differently. So that's an idea.
That sounds reasonable enough.
Yeah. Sorry to debunk everything that I'm saying. Let's talk about the flag, shall we?
Oh, that's funny. I was just looking at a photo of the flag.
Oh!
Yes, that's what I'm looking at so intently over here.
When they planted it in the ground, it kind of waved, and there's not supposed to be any breeze on the moon. It shouldn't have waved because there's no breeze, right?
But there's atmosphere on the moon. If there's atmosphere, there's still particles, right? So when you would place something down, it'd still have a ripple effect based on the particle movement. Would it not? Does that not make sense?
I don't know anything about science, but that
this
sounds
is
right.
the theory, right? Okay, when you place something, the force that you use to place it into the ground would sort of ricochet and cause the fabric to move.
Right, especially on the moon because there's less gravity.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was coiled up pretty tightly, so when you, like, just unravel it, then it's just gonna naturally unravel.
Yeah, unravel the rest of it.
Yeah. So yeah, people claim that the flag could have been moving because they forgot to turn off air conditioners on set. So
oh my gosh.
That's
obviously that is what happened.
Obviously.
Because they were a low-budget production company.
Yes. I feel like we keep debunking this theory, but I think it's true.
Do you think this one's true?
The moon landing being fake? In general?
I think that this specific part of it may have been faked. This is what I wanted to talk to you about afterwards.
Okay. Oh, yeah, we have to get into our thoughts after, I guess. So some people claim that the footage kind of looks like they slowed it down.
That's fair. I understand.
Yeah. But the thing is, we don't really know how gravity works on the moon. Like, us everyday people don't really understand that, right? Because we've never seen it.
That's true.
So they're kind of just bouncing around, and the sand is being kicked up and, like, falling slower than it would normally because there's less gravity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another weird thing is that when they landed, there was no sand kicked up by the landing.
Now, does that make sense?
So the official explanation for that is that the module was actually going extremely slowly, and this, coupled with the decreased gravity, would have made basically no dust. So I don't know.
I don't know what to say about that one.
Yeah. The footprints on the moon stay for, like, a long time, even though what usually keeps the footprints in sand together is the moisture in the sand, right? If you step in dry sand, it's not going to stay, but if you step in, like, wet sand, it's going to stay. So apparently it's like that because moon dust, because of the gravity interacting with the moon dust, for some reason that I don't really understand, it just holds its shape better.
Couldn't it be, like, gravity and the density of the dust particles themselves?
Yeah.
Right, if you have fine little grains of sand that are dry, they're not going to stay, but if you have, like, bigger sand chunks, they're gonna stay a little bit more than your fine little grains of sand.
Yeah. I don't really know what moon dust is like, but maybe it's bigger like that.
That could make sense, though, because what would create dust on there? There's no humans to grind it up, apart from other asteroids hitting it and creating the dust, which, even it grinding together, wouldn't necessarily be super fine, dusty dust.
The moon landing was fake. We just cracked it.
Let's get into it.
So even though the astronauts' footprints left actual, like, footprints in the sand.
Oh, no.
The lunar module left no prints.
Okay, well, that's suspicious, isn't it?
Isn't it? So the official explanation for this is that because it has a greater surface area than just, like, a footprint, it would have prevented it leaving any marks. I don't think that makes any sense, but you know.
Science? Can you explain? I don't think that makes any sense either.
I don't know about that.
Okay. Well, that one I don't agree with.
Also, in a lot of the recordings of the moon landing, there's no delay in the radio from the moon to, like, the base on Earth. And you would expect there to be, like, a delay.
This is true.
Yeah. So the reason for this is kind of boring. It's just that it's been edited out in most of the footage because you don't want to listen to, like, however many minutes of silence.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Thanks, guys.
Do appreciate it.
Okay, last one. This one's crazy.
Okay.
When they got back in 1969, they kept their moon rocks. NASA kept the moon rocks that they brought back for a while, and then they gave it to other countries, like, as a gift in the 70s. But the Dutch former Prime Minister got given as a gift.
Yeah, have a sip.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. He got given a moon rock in 1969, like, basically right after they got back, even though NASA waited until the 70s to give other countries moon rocks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, the Dutch National, I'm gonna mess this up, Rijksmuseum inherited this rock after the former Prime Minister passed away. And they discovered in 2009 that the so-called moon rock they had was actually just a piece of petrified wood.
Petrified wood? That's all I could think about. was, like, terribly scared wood. Sorry.
That was so cute. Oh my goodness.
I can't believe that the Prime Minister back in the day wouldn't have given his executive scientists the opportunity to test his moon rock.
Yeah.
Also, I hate the term moon rock, and I don't know why. It just feels so elementary for something that's, like, not.
Right?
You know?
It feels like there should be, like, a scientific name for it. Okay, so there are a couple of theories as to why this moon rock could be fake. So, either the former Prime Minister faked this rock.
Do you think... Because there is another, like, leader who passed away, I think in the recent years, like in the last 10 years or so. So his people were super poor, but he was super rich because he had, like, 16 supercars and, like, a whole bunch of gold. And he, I think, insisted on being buried with one of his supercars. Either one of his supercars or, like, one of his piles of gold.
Wow.
Like,
okay.
something extravagant he wanted to be buried in the earth with. Do you think this Mr. Dutch Prime Minister could have been like that? Like, this is my special artifact that was given to me from the moon.
He could
I
have.
will take this to my grave.
I mean, that seems like poor leadership skills, but he could have.
Worse things have happened than taking a moon rock with you to the grave.
That's true. That's an idea. That's another theory. Another theory is that NASA, for some reason, gave him this piece of petrified wood and said that it was a moon rock.
What if they just didn't like him? I mean, like, or what if they wanted him to be on their side because they have, like, good resources on their land or something?
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Because it would never be for the people. People didn't matter. It was all about the land or, like, prospects.
They just don't like him. We will bring great shame to your country because we just have a minor spat with you. It's funny.
You didn't laugh at my joke when we first met.
The entirety of NASA just hates him. They could have been switched around accidentally at some point.
This is true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that sounds like, again, a terrible intern that
Yeah.
did that. But, like, it's possible for sure.
It's possible. Since it was a piece of petrified wood that supposedly came from the moon, does that mean that maybe the moon had trees at some point?
Ooh. Because there was water on the moon.
Mm-hmm.
And trees, earth trees, need water.
Earth trees do need water. That's everything I have for evidence that the moon
Okay.
landing was fake.
Okay, so there's not a lot of great moon jokes.
Okay.
Some of them are offensive, and I don't appreciate them. But this one's not bad. Did you hear about the restaurant on the moon?
It was out of this world?
Dang, that's such a good one. I mean, that's true, but it was great, you know, great food, but it had no atmosphere.
Funny.
I definitely like the odd facts better. I find that that's more entertaining. But, like, jokes are okay.
I like it. This is fun. I'm having a good time.
Also,
Mm-hmm.
the thing that I wanted to talk about with you after this is because there are some very interesting things that people have pointed out, as you've just mentioned, that if you think about them at surface level, are, like, terribly obvious things that should not have happened if someone was to make the general public believe that the moon landing is a real thing, right? So what if their whole purpose was to make people believe that the moon landing was fake?
Okay. Why? Maybe to create distrust in the government?
Well, but it's the government that's doing it.
Maybe it's not the government.
Who's NASA? Is NASA the CIA? No.
NASA is like a Soviet spy.
So, because what was going on right at the time? The wars had ended. The space race. Their whole purpose was to get to the moon before other people got to the moon. My original thought was what if they faked it to, like, sort of subconsciously draw your attention to this other thing that they were also heading, like, a diversion. You, like, create a diversion, right? So you're like, hey, everyone, look at this, blah. And then there's going to be a few people that find something and then go, oh my gosh. But now we're going to go over here and look at this. But then these guys are like, oh, we've already thought of that and we wanted you to come here in the end.
Okay.
I don't know how to say that in smarter words than the way I just described it to you with hand gestures, okay? I'm sorry. So what if the purpose was to direct the public to thinking that it was fake?
Okay.
To maybe create a bigger sense of humankind.
Like a human connection?
Yeah.
Maybe. Do you think our government cares how connected we are?
I think the government cares to a degree, because if everyone becomes disconnected, like if there's so much unrest that everyone is fighting, you're not going to have people to, like, lead, because all your people will be fighting amongst each other, and then
Right.
you can't lead a country if everyone's fighting.
That's true. What if the aliens did it?
Fake the moon landing? Like if it's
Yes.
aliens in the astronaut suits?
Yeah.
So, like, what if they killed the astronauts on the moon and then just took their suits?
Yeah, and then came back here, and now Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin are both aliens.
Is that why Buzz changed his name from Edwin?
Edwin? Edwin to Buzz? That's what I would do if I was an alien. In Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, when Ford Prefect showed up on Earth, he chose the name Ford Prefect, and then he realized that was a mistake because that was a type of car. So it's like that.
Okay. Okay, sure.
You were saying, like, they could have, you said diversion?
Yeah.
When they could have created the moon landing hoax as a diversion.
Yeah.
MK Ultra was a thing.
Ooh! Oh, I got chills as soon as you said that.
It officially stopped in 1973, so it was going on all throughout the 60s.
When did people find out about it? 1973?
Probably. So that could have been, the moon landing could have been, like, or it could have been hoaxed to, like, create a diversion for MK Ultra. I think we've cracked it. I think we've solved it.
You might be right. I mean, wow.
Allegedly.
Every fact is just a theory, okay? And this is just a theory.
And
Not saying it's fact. Every theory is a fact. I mean, based on what I said earlier, yeah.
If you can convince enough people, it's a fact.
That's true. I do firmly believe in that. Okay, now I'm interjecting with a joke.
Okay.
Why is a moon rock tastier than an earth rock? Because it's a little meteor.
That was a good one, Mia. You're really breaking it with the jokes tonight.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
I'm really trying.
Let's talk about more theories.
Sorry, you literally have a theory that they faked it that I just neglected to read from your notes.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, they could have
That was
faked
rude of
it
me.
partly because they wanted more funding.
So what if they faked it, right? Mm-hmm. And then someone created a fund to, like, defraud the government so that other people would pay into the fund to figure out why the government is lying?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Wow, I forgot that I wrote this down. So, the government's money was focused elsewhere, right? Because it was, like, the Cold War time. So, NASA could have also faked it because they wanted to increase public knowledge and then convince the powers in charge to fund them more. And that could be why we haven't been back, because we haven't even been in the first place. That's a thought.
That is a thought.
Another theory is that NASA back-engineered alien technology from Roswell. Like, they could have used the debris from the incident to, like, figure out how to man their spaceships to get to Roswell quicker, which I think happened in the 1950s.
Figured out how to get to Roswell quicker? To the moon quicker.
To the moon quicker.
Okay. That could also make sense. So what we're doing right now, then, is just waiting for more space tech to fall from the sky. Do you think that that's why, then, they're sending so much debris into outer space? Like the car that was sent up just to send a car into space? And all the space trash that's up there?
I understand why the aliens haven't visited us yet.
Or are we creating a block so that they can't enter our atmosphere?
That sucks. Stop it. I want the aliens to come and visit, if they're nice.
We want friends. Okay, stop sending stuff into space just to become space trash.
Stop it. Don't send a car to space for no reason. That's just asking for trouble. It's gonna come back down to Earth and, like, kill a bunch of people, probably.
Unless you're sending it up there to figure out ways to safely bring it back down so that we could figure out ways to, like, better leave Earth and come back to it. But, like, I don't think that was your purpose, sir.
We just all end up going to, like, Mars in, like, Teslas.
Tesla's now the first space car.
What if the astronauts, when they landed on the moon, they encountered aliens? I know it's not in the footage.
Well, but, so Bigfoots.
Big
right?
feet? Bigfoots? Yeah, alright.
I wish that they were called Big Feets.
That's cute.
Just
I'm okay
wish
with that.
that.
We can call them that.
Okay, thank you. So Big Feets, right? It's said that when they come into close contact with, like, cameras or recording equipment, they make it malfunction.
Right.
So what if aliens have the same effect?
Oh, what if they do? They probably do. Or, like, they can, like, do that if they choose to, because they're aliens.
Can they infect software? So what if they infected the software? So everyone that saw the moon landing video saw infected software with the C and with the weird crosshairs.
What if... Okay.
What if?
What if they, like, infected the software of the original moon landing video, and then it, like, infected everyone's brains who was watching it at the time?
Yeah.
And that's why they, like, erased the original, because they didn't want it getting into the wrong hands, because they knew it would infect people's brains.
Ooh.
Spooky! Do you believe it? I believe it.
I don't have any reasons why I can't believe it. I have no proof that that's not a thing.
So, my theory is that they went before they said that they went, pre-filmed it, and then, like, some parts, maybe because they encountered aliens, or maybe some parts were distorted, or, like, whatever, they filmed some parts in, like, an actual studio, and then, like, stitched that together, and then, like, released it to the public. Because why would you risk something happening live? Like, they could have crashed, they could have seen aliens, they could have, you know, anything could have happened.
Well, like, just happened with that, was it India that had their spaceship that was headed to the dark side of the moon that never made it.
Really?
Yeah. They were trying to respond with between the space station and the rocket, and they tried for a lot of minutes, and they just never... Eventually, they just never connected with them. So it was assumed that they didn't quite touch down.
Or they got kidnapped by the aliens that live on the moon.
Or the lizards that live in the moon.
Very possible. More on aliens later.
Yes.
Right now I got one final theory, and all of these theories are kind of like interconnected. I just kind of split them up for no real reason. So, Stanley Kubrick, the famous director, could have possibly directed all of it or a part of it. Have you seen The Shining?
No.
No?
It kind of is scary.
Okay, so basically the premise of The Shining is this guy goes to this hotel for the winter to, like, caretake it. He's, like, a writer, and he takes his wife and his son. And his son is, like, I don't know, a child between the ages of 5 and 10. I can't remember how old he actually is. But basically, he kind of loses it at this hotel.
Oh, does he murder his family?
He tries to murder his family, and he doesn't.
Oh, that's good.
Spoiler alert for The Shining, which came out in 1980, so you've had 40 years. In 1968, a year before the moon landing, Stanley Kubrick released 2001: A Space Odyssey. So some people basically say that this qualifies him for the job of filming and faking the space landing, the moon landing.
Yeah. Okay.
That makes sense, right?
Totally.
Yeah. So it is believed that in The Shining, he kind of alluded to his involvement in faking the moon landing.
Oh my.
So, the evidence.
Yes.
So, the hotel is called the Overlook Hotel, and it's kind of supposed to represent America, supposedly. I don't really know why that is, but it's just a theory. And the two twins, you know, the creepy twins
in the hallway?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're supposed to represent the failed Gemini mission. Because they're twins, so it's Gemini. The Gemini is, like, the symbol for Gemini is twins, basically.
Oh.
I'm just showing you.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then we got the carpet in the hallway, which kind of looks like the Apollo 11 launch pad.
Oh, dang.
And
oh,
there is a scene in which Danny, the kid, is wearing a sweater with a rocket on it that says Apollo 11.
Okay, well, that one's kind of obvious.
Yeah, which is a weird detail to just insert.
Throw in there to a horror movie.
Yeah, it's not subtle.
No. Literally not even at all.
No. And room 237 is kind of like the spooky room in this movie. And it was changed because it was a different number in the original book by Stephen King. So Stanley Kubrick, for some reason, changed it to room 237. And some people believe that this could allude to the fact that there are around 237,000 miles between the Earth and the Moon.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's oddly familiar. Or similar.
Yes.
Yes.
And the famous lines that Jack is typing on his computer as he's losing his mind, basically, all work and no play. This could stand for Apollo 11, the all in that sentence.
Okay, also, this is just me being dumb, but, like, if you look at room 237, right? If you put the room behind it, you have 237, circle, 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 M. So, like, 237,000 M. Does that make sense what I'm telling you?
Yeah.
That's why people laugh at some theories, because they're just ridiculous. I needed to say that out loud
That was
to
really
another
cool,
human.
though. You just did one of those, like, really conspiracy theorist things.
I just did those I'm a slightly unhinged human being things.
Okay, so that's a theory about
interesting.
Stanley Kubrick.
Stanley Kubrick.
And Stephen King, I guess.
I mean, he's involved, kind of. Yeah.
Let's talk about another weird theory about the moon.
Okay.
Is the moon a secret alien base?
Yes.
There could either be a secret base on the dark side of the moon for aliens and humans to meet, or the entire moon could be an alien spaceship.
Let's just get right to it, man. The whole moon is just a spaceship.
The entirety of it.
That could explain why sometimes the moon glitches. You know, there's a video that exists where it looks like a whole, like, glitch line is just going up the whole side of the moon.
Yeah. going off of that, it could be a hologram. Like, the actual moon could be very small, and it could be a small alien spaceship, and then they project the hologram to look bigger and hide what they're doing on their spaceship.
Heck yeah.
So it could be a hologram, just like everything could be a hologram.
The whole world could be a hologram.
It could be. The whole universe, even.
You think that star is not? It's just mirrors.
The reason some people think that the moon could be just an alien spaceship is that it's, like, weirdly big to be caught in the Earth's orbit. So is there something keeping it rotating around Earth? Basically, it could either be, like, a meeting place for the aliens and the humans to meet, or they could just be, like, observing us, like some giant, like, Truman Show type of conspiracy.
Okay. Well, that's frightening.
That is frightening. So that's why it could ring like a bell sometimes, because it's a metal spaceship.
Or it could be alarms going off on the spaceship.
Oh, it could be alarms. Oh my goodness, that's spooky.
What if our time is different than the rest of time, and the aliens' time on the alien spaceship that is the moon is just different? So when our clock rings at like the old clocks, they ring at 12 o'clock. What if that's just their clock ringing at 12 o'clock?
Oh, it could be. Like they have, like, the Times Square clock that just goes off every hour on the hour, but their hour is different than our hour. I like that theory. That's sweet. That makes it seem, like, more human and less scary.
Thank you.
Not bad. So, apparently the meteor impact craters are too shallow, and some have flat or even, like, convex bottoms. Like, they're hitting something that's, like, round underneath and bouncing back.
But that's how water works, too. If you look at how water droplets happen, though, right? The water comes down and pushes out the water, and then it kind of comes back into the center and, like, pops up, right? And then it comes back down and, like, ripples out, you know?
Okay, yeah. Maybe the rock or, like, the sand could behave like water because of the low gravity there. I don't know. I don't know how that works. But that makes sense, right?
We don't have a lot of science on the moon yet.
Because it's been 50 years since we've been there.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned the ringing like a bell before, but apparently when a mission, like, purposefully, like, crash landed on it, rang like a bell for, like, an hour. It's not just something small. It's, like, a long time.
Alarm.
It's an alarm. I'd be alarmed. They're probably alarmed in their little spaceship.
Well, they're probably alarming the rest of their, like, fleet to come and assist them.
Yeah. The moon is also a lot less dense than Earth is. So that means that maybe it doesn't have a core. Maybe it's just hollow on the inside.
Oh, that's true, because we don't really know.
We don't know. Earth could be hollow, too.
But we have movies.
We do have movies. So that's what I have for, like, theories. This is chaotic. This is all over the place.
I'm really sorry.
One final fun thing I have that we can talk about.
Fun thing. I love that.
So this is the Great Moon Hoax. So in 1835, the New York Sun, which is a newspaper that's kind of like a tabloid, it gained its tabloid status after this incident. They reported on a civilization that lived in the moon.
Wow. The New York Sun, my goodness.
So they claimed that an astronomer named John Herschel, who actually existed and had, like, nothing to do with this, they claimed that he had found, through his telescope, 4-foot-tall human-like creatures with copper hair and bat wings that were supposedly very intelligent, which is apparently something you can see through a telescope.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
This amazing telescope.
And they lived in pyramids on the moon. So what do you think about that theory?
Okay, so the first thing that I want to say is Herschel is the name of my favorite video game character, Herschel Layton.
Okay, I love
from
that.
Professor Layton.
I've never heard of that before.
It is my favorite game of all time.
Okay, I love that.
So already I want to believe Mr. Herschel.
Yes.
I also now want to see if his first name somehow has anything to do with the name Layton, but I don't think it does. Anyways, I mean, I think probably around... Oh, this is in 1835?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. I mean, the press, the media has never really had a good name. And there was a period in time where they really were worse than they are now. As in, now the media is just all about, like, invading people's private lives and, like, personal privacy is the word I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
But before, there was a time where they were kind of all about, you know, just deconstructing civilization. And, like, that's not exactly what I mean, but, like...
Deconstructing civilization?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know, there was a time when they were just all about, like, creating chaos. For example, this And amongst other things, like making up stories of your favorite blah blah blah, or of this project that the government was secretly conducting. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that specific fact doesn't really bode too well with me. However, I also don't know how I feel about the idea that if we see something not from our world as we know it, that we would be able to describe it using terms that we know from our world. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Like, how do we know aliens are physical?
Well, yeah. And if it is physical, like, our brains are so tiny.
How could we commute? Like, it could be
Compute,
like like an angel in like the old Bible.
Yeah, exactly. I still don't really have a set opinion on that.
Well, it was a hoax.
So I guess you don't believe it either, then.
I mean, maybe, but probably not, since they did admit to it, but after an entire month, which could have, like, been a lot of media pressure telling them to change their story, and then
It probably was. They also probably got pressure from, like, the government saying, hey, this is creating too much, and we're getting backlash for not responding to you, so can you please, like, denounce?
Yeah, like the Men in Black.
That's literally what I was thinking of. I was literally thinking of, Area 51.
We should do
and
an
the
episode
whistleblowers.
on Men in Black.
Okay, I thought you were thinking Area 51.
That
We
was
did
our
that.
So apparently they were trying to comment on the relationship between science and religion. Don't really know how they got there by hoaxing this, but good on them. Yeah.
I mean, they tried something. I don't know that I understand, but, like, they tried something.
They did it. Anyways, that was
Alright,
the
the
Great
New
Moon
York
hoax.
Sun.
Yeah.
Well, at least it's called the Great Moon Hoax and not the Terrible Moon Hoax. I'm interrupting you again.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're basically done now.
I found this one joke
Okay.
that's offensive,
Okay.
and I'm going to tell it to you anyways.
Okay.
Okay.
How offensive.
Very.
Do you want to say something that we need to, like, bleep out?
I mean, I don't really know exactly how the guidelines are set, so, like, possibly.
Okay.
So it's not really a joke. Mooning is very astrological. That's it. I've scrolled through 4 pages of jokes to find that joke, because the rest of them are awful.
The rest of them were worse?
Oh, yeah.
Alright, that's all we have for the moon today.
I should ask,
Yeah.
now that we've talked about all of those things, how do you feel about the moon? Is it real?
I believe the moon is real. I believe it's an alien spaceship, and I believe that they faked parts of the moon landing, and that is my personal theory. That is just mine, and only it is alleged. What do you think?
I agree with you about parts of the moon landing, because there are some things that are a little suspicious. And I also had a thought about putting, this theory and this theory together. So, like, if the alien spaceship, is the moon, what does that mean for, like, how our Earth is totally in tune to the moon? And, like, we're in tune to the moon.
Ooh, do you think they designed it that way, or it's just, like, they influence things?
I was thinking more along the lines of, like, they influence things.
That's so spooky. I never thought about that. What if they're, like, controlling the tides through, like, a little, like, controller in their, like, alien spacecraft?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know that I believe you. I think the moon is a physical thing that exists in our universe, much like all the other planets that exist on our universe.
So it's not a hologram, unless we're all a hologram.
Yes, unless we're all literally living in our own universe. Like, we're all fragmenting into different timelines, like you said before, So, like, you were in my timeline, like, 2 minutes ago, and now we're in 2 different timelines, and now in another 2 minutes we're going to be in more different timelines.
I don't
so
like
it's like,
this
is,
theory.
like, my own universe.
I don't like it. I'm stressed. So you believe parts of the moon landing were fake?
I do. I believe parts of the moon landing are fake. I think the moon itself is not fake. And I do still think that there are different forms of life that exist that we still don't have the means to discover yet.
That makes sense. I like that. That makes sense to me. I think Stanley Kubrick wanted to mess with us all, and that's why he put little Easter eggs in his movie.
Alright, well,
That's all, folks.
thank you for listening.
To our anniversary podcast.
Oh
our
my
podcast-iversary.
gosh, happy podcast anniversary. If you lasted through 15 full episodes, including the bloopers, thank you. What did you think of the bloopers?
Let us know. Email
I love
us.
them.
You can
Email us, yeah.
email us at weirdthingsandwine@gmail.com, which you can also find on our website, weirdthingsandwine.com. And you could also DM us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook.
Man, we're everywhere.
We're everywhere. And if you wanted to rate and review us, let us know what you think publicly.
As always, 4 and 5 star ratings are accepted.
Yes. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Any feedback is good feedback as long as it's 4 and 5 stars.
Also, if you have something interesting that you'd like to share with us, please let us know.
Yeah, if you have ideas for a podcast, let us know. We'd love to, cover things that people want to listen to.
And we love learning about new things.
Yeah, we do.
You know, such as fish.
That's what we're going with? That's our big request tonight? We want to learn about fish.
No, that's not where I was going. I had more than I wanted to say, and then I forgot the word, and then I had a brain fart. I wanted to say, for example, did you know that fish are fluorescent?
All fish?
Most fish.
Really?
Yes.
Salmon?
I mean, ocean fish.
Oh,
I don't know.
Clarify that. Are goldfish fluorescent?
Probably. Have you shone a black light on your goldfish?
Is that what fluorescent means?
I don't know. This is why I was struggling before. Because I couldn't remember the word. They're not reflectant, but to the human eye, this is off topic. This has been this entire 2.5 hours. Just off topic, on top of more off topic. So, with the human eye, right? If you look under the water, there's nothing reflecting from the fish. They just look normal, you know? There's nice colors, like this. But there's nothing fluorescent like a highlighter. If you take a black light and shine it on the fish, they will become fluorescent along with the coral.
Why?
Because they're fluorescent. They naturally are luminescent.
But what's the evolutionary reason for that? Is there a reason for that?
To talk to other fish in the dark.
Oh, other fish can see the fluorescence?
Yeah.
I don't think fluorescent is the right word.
Is luminescent the right word?
I don't know.
Okay, look up ocean fish and blacklight, okay?
Yes.
Or just cut that whole thing out. I don't care.
And let us know if you know any other fun facts like that. We'd love to share them on our podcast.
Oh, you're gonna put that part in.
Did we?
As always, folks, thank you for listening.
Thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you for... We already said this. Thank you for joining us on our podcast anniversary.
We appreciate you. Stay weird.
Drink wine.
Cheers.
Cheers. Stick around for some bloopers and outtakes. And also, I've decided to take up scrapbooking, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
And in doing so, I bought a bunch of, stickers online, and I think I kind of blacked out when I was buying stickers, because I got some weird ones.
Weird ones?
So I got these, which are, all astronauts.
What? Here. Oh, you're actually not kidding.
No, it's all astronauts. I don't know why I got that.
Wait, what? What did you get? I don't understand.
I don't know what I was
Was this an
scrapbook?
Was this an accident?
Sometimes they just said that they would send me random stickers if I paid for it, so I was like, okay, sure.
Have some astronaut stickers. I mean, some of them are really cool.
Yeah. So
this one has a little bear in the background. There's a little bear in the cloud.
Oh, that's cute.
Or something. It looks like a bear.
I don't know what we're supposed to do with them, but I figured it was on theme, so I just brought them.
This is the only time this will ever be on theme, though.
We have to use them, so we have to stick them to things. Maybe, our notes or something.
During the podcast? You want us to together use your stickers for the podcast?
If we could use them all, that would be great. I know there's a very thick stack of them.
There's this is hard to handle.
It's really hundreds of stickers right there. At least 100. At least 50.
Easily. Easily. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you did that. That's awesome.
Oh, I know what it is. I think that was a lion in the clouds, because some of them are astrology stickers.
It'll make more sense than a bear.
You're a Scorpio, right?
I am a Scorpio.
Perfect. There you go.
Oh my gosh, you have a Scorpio sticker just for me. Wait, how do you know this is... Because there's a scorpion on it!
It's half cut off. I don't know why they made that choice.
It's kind of hard to tell that it's a scorpion. It kind of just looks like a cloud of smoke or something, and there's a stop sign.
I don't understand it.
Thank you.
I'm serious, if we could use them all, that would be great. Because
you're, like, actually not joking. Okay.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with them.
I'm so down to use up all your stickers. I love stickers.
Cheers!
That actually sounded great.
Did it?
Yeah.
You forgot to say cheers.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Okay. But grapes are great.
Grapes are great. You're right.
Sorry, was that a dumb thing that I just said out loud?
I think math is fake.
Okay, yeah, math is stupid. So it's fake. Theory is step one in becoming fact. So, you never know.
That's another line that we need to put on a t-shirt. You were just, like, spitting out, like, good lines today.
Absolutely not. There's, like, really two coherent thoughts in amongst...
You were so smart.
No.
You should honestly go to the press.
That
New York Times? Hello? Hi.
That's totally not.
Toronto Sun? Is that a news outlet?
The opposite of the moon?
There's some controversy going. I thought you were going to say something insightful.
I was really trying, and then I just realized that it wasn't happening, so that was me giving up. But not the Cold War?
I don't know.
Not the Space War.
It's the end of the Cold War, I think.
It's the Space War.
The Space War.
What I was thinking
Space
of.
race.
Oh, is it a space race?
I don't know. It sounds dumb when I say it. It shouldn't rhyme. Have you seen Gravity with Sandra Bullock?
That's a great movie.
That one scarred me.
It scarred you?
Yeah, because at the end, isn't she, like, floating away?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's scarring. Yeah.
Sorry, I can't believe I didn't compute that. Oh my gosh. You're right. I should have reacted to that more.
So, shall we talk about some of the evidence that people believe could have been about, let me rephrase that.
Astrological. Is it astrological?
No.
I felt dumb saying that.
That was cute. Why did you
what
do
happened?
that? You, like, looked at me.
There was a dust particle. I'm so sorry.
I hated that so much.
I'm really sorry. I'm sorry. You scared me more than anything. Oh my gosh.
Your eyes just kept getting wider and wider as I freak out. I really thought there was a demon sneaking up on me. I hated that so much.
I'm really sorry. I'm sorry. There's bugs in here. I'm sorry.
That freaked me out.
Okay, I won't look over there anymore.
That was awful.
I'm really sorry.
Just the screams of the damned. It's okay.
Why did you say it like that?
I thought it was better than a pack of coyotes. It's not.
No, it's not. The screams of the damned. Oh, she won't be scared by that at all.
Well, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna come and hang out with us? No. Neither will the coyotes.
Both of those options are terrifying. Do you not know?
I'm gonna stop talking. I'm doing everything wrong. I'm trying to be reassuring and I'm not. Fleet?
Yeah.
Like,
is that not frightening?
Mia, that is so much more terrifying than what I said about the damned souls.
It absolutely is not. You can see a spaceship coming. You can't see a damned soul coming.
You might be able to. Have you ever seen one? No. That doesn't prove my point at all. I just noticed a clicking of the clock. Hope that doesn't come on the audio.
I'm sure it's okay. You might be able to see it.
It's fine. I'll edit it out. Each individual click. For like 2 hours. Oh my god, this is gonna be so fun to edit.
I'm sorry. At least it's not like 5 hours.
That's true. It's not even 3 hours yet.
Oh my gosh, we can waste like 11 minutes.
Let's not.